My girlfriend tested positive for an STD, I did not. Some brief background: we've been together 3 years and moved in soon after the pandemic started. In January I realized I had not gotten tested for STDs since college a few years prior and figured it would be good to get tests while at the doctor. Came back negative on all in January. A few weeks ago my girlfriend asked me to talk, told me she had tested positive for an STD. I was surprised, showed her I tested negative on all, and then asked if she had cheated, because I felt I had to ask. She said no, of course. I decided to get tested again. I still tested negative this week. This is not someone I would have thought would cheat, but I've been cheated on by another partner in the past and not found out until after that relationship ended. Not sure how to get back to trusting her or if this is a sign I can't ignore. I feel like if I ask again she would deny either way. How can I approach this? Sorry if typing is off. ESL. Edit 1. Chlamydia. Which is it? Because some can linger, others do not. Hey, hopefully I can help you out here. I'm a woman and have had chlamydia. My long-term partner at the time did not test positive for it. It was odd to us, but reading more about STIs, it's not super weird. Women are way more prone to getting an STI, it's all warm and wet in there, compared to men. It could have been dormant a long time, you might be a carrier with 0 symptoms. It's best you both take the antibiotic, and keep going. This does not mean anyone cheated. Some STDs stay dormant for years without a holder having symptoms. Think you need to see a doctor before drawing any conclusions. Hit a doctor for this advice, man, not this sub. If your girlfriend says she didn't cheat and you think she's telling the truth, tell the doctor, ask him for advice. Have you gotten sick at any point during the relationship and needed antibiotics? Because it could have wiped it out for you. It's possible for certain STIs to not be detected or stay asymptomatic for months or years. It really depends on the STI in question. Yes, chlamydia can stay dormant in the body, especially females, for years with a low-grade infection without any symptoms showing or her knowing she's positive. Side note: chlamydia is also known as the silent infection because of it laying dormant with no symptoms for so long. If she cheated on you and got chlamydia, I doubt she'd tell you about the STD. Do not assume she cheated. This is fairly common. I am a nurse and used to give STD results all the time on the phone. She could have chlamydia from a long time ago. It could be a herpes flare from many years ago that she didn't even know she had. Could be BV, which is not even an STD, but a lot of people think it is. Talk to your doctors about possible scenarios before you throw your relationship away. I guess it would depend on the STD for me. If it's something that is potentially long-term with asymptomatic periods like herpes, it's possible for it to have been there before you too and has just now started a noticeable symptom. If it's something more acute and highly contagious, well, STDs don't just appear. Evaluate possible causes, then evaluate realistic probability of those causes. If there is enough cause for concern of cheating, then you decide if it's a deal breaker or if you two will work it out with couples counseling. You don't have to agree if cheating occurred, just that the concern of cheating is now presenting a very real problem. When was her last test before this one? If it's chlamydia and was dormant for years, there's a pretty good chance you wouldn't get it. It's easier for women to get STIs than men on average, especially ones like chlamydia. It's very possible that she's had it for years and not known, and just never passed it on to you, especially if it was dormant or treated. Unusual, but not impossible. First off, from a previous post yesterday I found out that a lot of STDs are easy to pass on through means other than sex. Just wanted to pass that one on as it was a big surprise to me. That said, chlamydia can lie dormant for years, and blood tests and vaginal swabs may not detect it if it is dormant. The only reliable chlamydia test is a urine PCR test. So if you did a standard blood test, I would recommend you getting a urine test. Definitely talk to your doctor about it. It's much easier for men to spread STDs than it is for women. If all she said was no and didn't do any of the things cheaters do when they think they're about to be busted, love bombing, trickle truth, etc., then I'd say trust her. There's too many ways this could be from a source other than cheating for it to be evidence of infidelity. Also, you might get chlamydia from cats, as crazy as it sounds. Cat fever has different bacterias or virus inside, and the only one that can get transmitted to humans is chlamydia. Ask a doctor about it. Everyone is arguing about whether or no he would have gotten it. My question is, has he been sick recently? If you had a DIF infection that would have been treated with a ZPAC, you could have had it and just treated it. Are you her first, only partner? If not, this could be an STD from a prior relationship. Even if you are the only person she's had PIV, penis in vagina, sex with, anal, oral sex, blow jobs, naked dry humping, hand stuff, etc. are all ways that STDs can spread. Many people have no symptoms or develop symptoms after a long time. Source. Cheating isn't the only way for her to get a positive STD test. If you've been on antibiotics within the past 3 years and she did not, then it's possible, depending on the antibiotic, that you cleared the infection and she didn't. Do you guys use condoms? It's my understanding that there are both false positives, maybe hers, and false negatives, maybe yours, in tests for STDs, and I believe that infections can avoid detection by tests for a long period of time before causing a positive test result. I'm not certain of all this, but think that you and she should get definitive information before going to war with each other for presumed infidelity. Hey. I had almost this same situation in my relationship, so just want to give you some hope that it is possible she didn't cheat. I was dating my boyfriend for a full year before I found out I had it, thanks annual PAP. It was so stressful calling him to tell him about it. We both had to think about whether the other cheated. He had to go get tested. We had to take some medicine and refrain from sex for a week or two, but we're still here 5+ years later. I had shown no signs at all and would never have known without my doctor running the standard tests just because. It depends on the STD. The screening for HPV in men is scant. No standard test for men exists, and if he is asymptomatic, he won't know he has but can absolutely pass to another partner. So if it's HPV, I'd pump the brakes on accusation of cheating. Have her get another test to confirm. Unless she's already taken the meds. Tests can throw up false positives as well as false negatives. Has she gotten retested after the initial diagnosis, or was she put on treatment immediately? What kind of test did she have done? A urine test isn't as accurate as a vaginal or anal swab. Is there a possibility that she had something happen, rape? All these things factor into whether or not she actually has chlamydia and whether or not you have it. I personally would have a talk with her and explain your concerns. Communication is key, and Reddit isn't the best place to make decisions about your relationship. She's been a part of your life for 3 years, don't throw it all away letting your mind run amok. Talk to her. And if she gets upset over you asking how this happened, then it isn't worth your time. It depends on the STI. Herpes, HIV, HPV, for instance, can take years to show up. She could have contracted it from a previous partner and never known about it until right now. I think focusing on how you can support her and discussing safer sex practices are more of a priority. The only way to receive an STD is through someone else who has it and you came into contact with their blood, semen, vaginal fluids, or skin-to-skin genital contact. Edit. I saw it was chlamydia. Here you go. How can I approach this? Practical and direct. First, find out what the disease is about. Talk to a doctor or try to find out what the incubation period is and what the manifestation is over time. So you can approximate how long the disease has been. And then everything is clarified. One of my best friends has been dating his girlfriend for 5 years, absolutely faithful, and tested positive with her testing negative. Chlamydia can stay dormant for a long time without spreading, so it doesn't mean she cheated. Chlamydia can be dormant for a long time. I've seen a lot of people commenting, you can be asymptomatic for a very long time, false negatives. Basically, if you have a healthy level of trust, I would have a conversation about it. It does not mean she cheated on you. Sucks bro. Cheaters gonna cheat. 3 years of sex, I'm assuming unprotected, and y'all actually believe this isn't an outside source. Some damn gullible people hanging out here. She cheated on you, man, dump her. Get with her again to show your commitment. Do you stick it in her pooper? If so, that could be the cause for the clap. I was in the same situation a few years back and her doc told her it could very well be from butt play. First things first. Why did she get tested in the first place? That's not something you do when you are in an exclusive relationship of 3 years. I've had partners test negative when I tested positive. Wow, so much misinformation here. Chlamydia can lie dormant, but that essentially means that it is asymptotic for years. It would definitely show up on an STI screening that tests for chlamydia. When was the last time your partner was tested prior to this? It might be possible that she had it for so long, but you probably would have caught it by now. Chlamydia can also disappear from your body after about a year. So perhaps you've had it as well, but your body got rid of it. You could have it, but the symptoms have not shown up yet. I got tested while dating someone because I suspected cheating. Came back positive for chlamydia, but I knew that it didn't necessarily mean he had cheated, so I stayed with him, after dragging him to the county health department for treatment. Found out later that he had 100% cheated. Okay, so it is possible that she's had it for years and you not caught it. Possible. It isn't likely. But the possibility is there. You need to find out if she had been tested previously. She should also get a second test in case of a mix-up. Will a doctor be able to determine how long she's had it? That would probably be an answer that would clear up some of your doubt. I had a similar experience. I had tested positive, but he was negative on more than one test. You need to test first thing in the morning, as you get a more reliable result with that urine. Or at least ensure you haven't been to the toilet for an hour or two before testing. I imagine you are positive but have just had false negatives. Dude, she cheated on you. Don't listen to these tards. Yuck. Why did she get tested in the first place? Were you having unprotected sex for the 3 years?